Good morning, everybody. Oakdale traffic, Cessna 24895 is departing runway 28 to the east, Oakdale. Got somebody with an open mic there. Okay, airspeed is alive. We got 50 knots, we're gonna rotate. Hold this attitude. And now she's flying. Turn that garbage down. And Oakdale traffic 24895 is going to depart right downwind to the east, Oakdale. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Sorry about the shaky camera. Does that on takeoff. A lot of vibration and high power settings. I'll just hold my finger on the camera till we get up to about 2,000 feet where I will level off. Put this thing down. Oh, you don't want to come down. Never mind, I won't put that one down. Because I don't want to break it. It's not my airplane. Let somebody else break it. So today, I am not going to land there, but I'm going to go up and fly by a friend's strip. If I owned this airplane, I would land there, but this is a rental, and they don't like us landing off airport. Even though this technically is an airport, it's a dirt field. I don't know that my or their insurance will cover that. So I am not going to land there. I'm just going to fly by. There we are, 2,000 feet above the ocean. Pilots, we measure our altitude in mean sea level. So I am 2,000 feet above mean sea level. What is mean sea level? Well, it doesn't mean that the sea is being angry or bad to us. It's just the average or mean level of the ocean worldwide. So let's get leveled off here. There we go. Well, good morning and grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ from 2,000 mean sea level above the Central Valley of California. Sorry, I'm kind of squinting here. The sun's in my eyes because I don't want to break this visor. It won't come down. Oh, there we go. I didn't want to break it. Although it's not really helping. So, grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ and all the saints here in California. Not much to talk about today. I still have a fiber optic issue out to the county jail where we have some nurses stationed, and I can't seem to get that ironed out. I tried putting back the old switches that were there that I replaced. This problem started when I upgraded their switches out there to the newer versions that we're using. And I have not been able to figure out what's causing it. I think it's just us moving the fibers around was enough. Even though I've replaced the fibers, I think it's the house wiring that's the bad part. We've replaced all the fiber jumpers on both sides. So either there's some jumpers in the middle that are bad, or I don't know what. Oh, so yeah, still fighting that problem. The problem is it's getting numerous receive CRC errors at the far end. So I think what I'm going to do is buy some fiber-optic media converters, go from fiber to Ethernet. And the actual distance is about 3,000 feet, give or take. So I'm going to go with some media converters that supposedly have a range of 1.2 miles. What is that, about 2 kilometers? Sorry guys, I'm in America. I don't know the metric system that well. You know, stupid Americans. So yeah, I'm going to put those fiber optic transceivers in and see what I can accomplish with that. If that doesn't work, we're going to have to rethink how we get out to the jail altogether, which may involve some routing and a leased line. So, yeah. But yeah, that's about all that's happened. Coming to you, I'm taping this on July 4th, Independence Day for America. You're probably going to see this a week later. America's largely shut down because of COVID, so there isn't a whole lot of celebration for Independence Day. Like I said, this is my celebration. I'm calling it a freedom flight. I'm going on my freedom flight today. So I'm just flying around, enjoying America for what it is. You know, we don't hate the world. We don't want to subjugate the world. At least I don't. I don't know about the government. I don't hate people of other religions. I don't want to try to convert them. That's not my job. That's the Holy Spirit's job. My job is just to bring the good news to anybody who wants to listen and to testify what God has done for me. And God has done very well by me. He's been very kind. I shouldn't say he's done well by me. He's been very kind to me because I deserve nothing he's done. It's all him. In his sovereign will and sovereign grace, he's decided to put me in this place, and I am very, very, very grateful. So, there's my little pocket testimony for today. If you're interested in finding out what God and Jesus Christ can do for you, go ahead and IM me or leave a comment below. If you're going to disparage God or my religion or anybody else's religion, I'm just going to delete the comment. So, don't do that. Don't be a jerk. So, talked about work. That's about all that's going on. I talked about my faith. That's always going to be going on. I am now just coming up over the Sierra Nevada foothills. Over an area called Tuolumne Table Rock. It's like a flat area of bluffs that's an ancient lava flow, and it flows down from the Sierras almost all the way down here into the Central Valley. Well, all the way into the Central Valley. From volcanic eruptions in the past, the lava flowed down, left a very flat top, and it cooled. Let's see if I can show you that. Sorry for the jumpy camera. But there you can see that there's a river down there. It's actually a reservoir now because they've dammed it up. And that flat-topped rock there, that's Tuolumne Table Rock. And it goes way off up into the distance there, which I am not sure you can see. To look through the jelly propeller. That propeller is invisible to me, by the way. With the naked eye, you can't see it. The camera has some artifacts with the shutter speed, shows the prop looking all curved like that. There's only 2 blades, and they're straight. So anyway, what the heck? I will just leave you pointed that way so you can enjoy the view. Right in front of the strut there. And today was supposed to be a fly-in. We were going to be camping down there. And I don't see any other planes down there. There's one plane on the runway. It's just right in front of the strut there. That's Jack's airplane. He parked it there many years ago, and there it sits. So, yeah, if this plane wasn't rented, I'd be landing down there. That's a shame. Oh well. I've landed there many times, so I know what it's like. I don't need to land there every time. Yeah, I used to fly up here all the time. This was my playground. We are, so you know where we are. We are over a town called Chinese Camp. We're near a town called Chinese Camp. That's near Jamestown, Sonora. It's California's gold country. We are just south of where gold was discovered out here in the west. Started the Great Gold Rush. If I'd have got out here earlier, I could fly down the Star Wars trench for you guys. But it's a little bumpy down low here. But I'll show you the Star Wars trench, or actually the Death Star trench. There's a YouTube video on my personal YouTube channel of my daughter and I flying through it. So it is coming up here on our right. There's a big pile of mine tailings over here, waste rock. And it's behind those. The trench is actually an overflow trench for the dam that's over here to our right that you can't see because it's to the right and the rear of us right now. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it's to our right about 2 o'clock. And this overflow trench is designed to let water come through it before water starts spilling over the top of the dam. It's a safety measure. There, you can kind of see it in the front up there. These tailings are a lot higher than they used to be. I guess they're still working this quarry here below us, because I used to be able to fly straight up to it. Now they got these tailings piled up straight in front of it. Let's see how low we can get here without getting bumped around too much. Right there, you ought to be able to see that right in front of us now. That is the Death Star trench. Again, this is a rented airplane, so I can't have too much fun in it. If it was mine and I flew it on a regular basis, I'd be a lot more comfortable in it, and I'd have it probably a lot better insured. It's good to see the lake level higher up. We've been in a drought here in California for years, and looks like we finally got some water back in the lakes. For 4th of July, though, the lake is pretty empty. Make sure they're not pulling anyone on a kite out here. Sometimes these boats pull people on kites. They can get fairly high up. Oh, there's a few boats down there. It's good to see people out enjoying themselves, despite our governor's mandate of everybody to stay indoors on 4th of July. Yeah, not gonna happen. It's a mandate, not a law, first of all. So I will not be partaking in that. We'll just continue flying up on up the valley here. That lake we were flying over is New Maloney's Lake. It's a lake created by a dam that was built on the Tuolumne River. All right, yeah, we've talked work, we've talked religion, we've talked flying stories. Well, it's wax political now. I am a conservative. I am not a liberal. I am not a Democrat. I am a Republican, and if you're going to unsubscribe over that, that's all right. I believe in everybody having the freedom to have their own political views and freedom of association, all that good stuff. Everything America was built around. So yeah, this whole reaction to the COVID thing is, I think it's a bit of an overreaction, given what I've seen. I work in a hospital. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, but I talk to doctors, I talk to nurses, I walk around, I see the patients, we are not overburdened by any means. When this first came out, they wanted everybody to shelter in place to flatten the curve. They didn't want the hospitals overrun. So to that end, we stockpiled lots of beds and set up lots of areas for patients, which just never got used. We've still got beds sitting in our sitting in underground storage at the hospital, waiting to be rolled out and used, and that's just not happening. So that's kind of a overreaction on my part, or my opinion, on all the shelter in place. So they flattened the curve. Fine. Now the number of COVID-19 infections are inching higher, but the death rate isn't inching any higher than it was. There's Calaveras Airport up there, so I'm gonna not fly over them. I don't want to get in their way, so I'm just gonna veer off this way through the hills, go over this little pass over here. So yeah, we're not seeing the mortality rate increase at all. But at my hospital, we haven't had a death in months that they could attribute to COVID-19. So I think we ought to just let it run its course, personally. The only people that need to be cautious are people with lung conditions, the elderly, people with conditions that just about anything could kill them, any kind of infection, the flu. You know, those people should probably stay indoors, you know. But I think the rest of them, the young and the healthy, they talk about herd immunity. Just let everybody out, let them spread it, and then we'll deal with it. Coronavirus is related to the cold. They haven't been able to come up with a vaccine against the common cold yet, so I have a hard time believing they're going to come up with a vaccine against COVID-19, as it is a coronavirus. Again, just like the common cold. So I don't know. We'll have to see what all comes of this. But I guess there is a little bit of a rebel in me, because I am happy to see people out enjoying themselves, and despite the stay-at-home orders and the closures that the governor of California has issued. We're headed back out here over California's vast Central Valley, coming out of the California's gold country, which we've been flying around in. That's there's a little valley here just before we get to the Central Valley. This is the Salt Springs Valley, and it is in a little runway at the top of this valley where I crashed my last airplane. Yes, you heard that right. I crashed my airplane, and I survived. Not enough to make me stop flying, though. Even that crash, which was probably the worst one I've been in, took off the landing gear. I've only been in 2 crashes. One was on takeoff where it bent the wings when I struck a tree just as I was starting to roll. So I didn't even get hardly moving before I struck a tree and dented the wing up. And this was the second one where I took the landing gear off. And it just came from me trying to land too short. I drop back down here a little bit. This is Salt Springs Reservoir here. Also a lot of films done up in here. Another 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. I believe the final scene of National Treasure was filmed here. There's a little church that they pulled into. That little church is, I don't know if you'd be able to see it on the video, right off my nose. A little white building down there. It's a little old chapel that they used in a lot of movies. I don't think it's used anymore. There's not enough Christians left in California. A lot of churches barely have any attendees or largely empty, except out here in the Central Valley. We're not like San Francisco, Sacramento, or Los Angeles area. Out here in the Valley, they tend to be largely Christian and largely conservative and largely sparsely populated. So there aren't really enough of us to vote to change the demographics of California. It's a shame. It's a beautiful state. I do love it here, but the politics are just such that I think I need to leave. And it's not even the politics so much as the tax situation, which seems to follow the politics. Now, people in other countries may be used to high taxes, and Europe has some really high taxes, and I know the government needs to function somehow. It needs to get its money somewhere, but taking most of people's money, or in some cases all of it, it's not right. So I have 6 more years. So you guys get at least 6 more years of videos. After 6 years, I'm going to retire. I'm going to call it a career. And if anybody's curious about what network admins do after they retire, you can continue following the channel. If not, feel free to drop off in 6 years. Yeah, 6 years we're gonna leave. We're gonna sell everything in California, our home, everything. We're gonna buy a travel trailer, probably a 5th wheel, and a big old truck, as I call it, the Bat, the big ass truck. Nothing more American than a big, huge truck. It won't be big. It's just gonna be a 1-ton pickup truck, diesel. That'll pull about any trailer I want. And we're going to just tour the country, tour America. We won't have a home, we'll just live in the trailer and live like Romani, which my wife's maiden name was Romana. So we will live like Romani, gypsies, and just travel around. See if we can spread the gospel while we travel, testify for Christ, and just visit this beautiful country. And part of that's 2 reasons. My wife's never been outside of California, except maybe once or twice. She's only ever lived here since she came over from her home country in the Philippines. And she'd like to see more of America. I'd like to show her more of America. I grew up on the east coast of America in Georgia. I'd like to show her Georgia. I know I don't have an accent. I used to have a really deep South accent. I lost it because I'm fairly good with accents. You don't believe me, that's just too bad. So anyway, we're going to travel around and maybe look for a community outside of California that we can settle in, retire, set down roots. Hopefully it'll be close enough where we can visit our children or they can visit us. And close enough where we can monitor my son, who is special needs and has to be taken care of. So if we can't visit him, he won't be able to visit us. So yeah, that's the plan. 6 more years and then pull up stakes, divest ourselves of California and retire. Our plan is to move to South Dakota initially because they don't have any income tax. They don't tax retirement income. They don't tax investment income. South Dakota did not close its borders or any of its businesses during the COVID pandemic, and they have not had any increase in cases. And they have a very conservative political stance and population. And their governor is really, really cute. She's a very attractive woman, so who wouldn't want to move there? She won't be governor when I get there. And my wife is very, very cute too. Network admin wife is a looker as far as I'm concerned. So before anybody gets upset about me thinking another woman is cute, there's a lot of cute women out there. It doesn't mean anything. So anyway, yeah, we're going to move to South Dakota because of the tax situation. We need to divest ourselves of all contacts in California. So we'll shut everything down here and move it all over to South Dakota. Doctors, dentists, join a church, register to vote. And we'll pick up a physical address there in South Dakota and only visit it occasionally as we travel around. But South Dakota will be our home base, our domicile. So legally, at least in America and probably in most other parts of the world, there's a legal concept of there's your physical address and there's your legal address is considered your domicile. That's considered your primary, that's where you live. So that for us will be in South Dakota. Even though physically we're not there very often, it will be our legal address for all intents and purposes. And South Dakota has just codified in their state laws people who travel as, legal residents of South Dakota. So they are saying, yeah, even though you're only here maybe once every year, or every 2 years, or every 5 years, whatever it is, we still consider you a resident, as long as you want to be a resident. And so you have certain protections under their laws, and they're, I think, the only state in the country that's done that. California, if you're here more than 9 months out of the year, you're considered a resident. And if you're here making money more than 1 month, I think, then, or even more than, or is it 2 weeks? I think it's 1 pay period. If you make any money here in California, they will tax you on it no matter where you live. So yeah, I just want to get out of California. Well, this video's gone on long enough. It's gone on forever. So I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for supporting me and the channel. Well, you're not really supporting me. You're just leaving kind comments, and that's all I ask. Be kind. If you like what you've seen, click the subscribe button and click the bell to get notified when there's new videos put up. And we'll see you next time. Grace and peace to you, everybody. We'll catch you later. 895 turning final, runway 28 Oakdale.
Get on.
Oakdale traffic 805, clear the active. Oakdale.